an entire remake trilogy of God of War 1 through 3? Sucker, you had me at 3. Once I get those concubines on the bed and that circle pops up above they junk and I'm giving them back shots in 4K 60 frames per second,
you gonna make me act up.
what else does a sucker need? We have to talk about yesterday's state of play. We actually have to, because it's not too often I actually have to sit down and actually record a video talking about this junk, because it's just really not worth it most times. But in this particular instance, my brothers and sisters, it is. This was actually a awesome state of play. This was actually a reason to have a state of play. You know how most state of plays be 25 minutes, whatever, and it's just like, why did I just sit and watch that? That was not one of these times. This state of play was awesome. They showed multiple games that, you know, had your interest. Of course, they sprinkled in some indies and stuff that I thought they paced this junk out almost perfectly. They showed so many damn, I'm not even gonna talk about all of the games that they showed, but they showed games that actually like had your attention. Like games that you actually cared about. Some of the games that I did write down, though, of course they showed another RE9 trailer. I don't know if this is the 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th trailer I've seen. I'm not watching, listen, the RE9 drops in like what, 2 weeks? I'm not watching anything else for this game. I've seen enough. I'll play it when the game comes out. And I've been playing through all of the REs on my Twitch page. I just beat RE3 remake last night. Now we getting back to trash ass RE4. That's right, I said it. And I am on my RE grind right now, so I cannot wait for RE9. They showed some gameplay of Control Resonant, it's called, the sequel of a Control. And I was definitely getting like prototype kind of DMC Infamous vibes from the gameplay. Like, we all know with the first Control's gameplay was freaking amazing. I felt like Control's issue was the story. You know, every time you got a story game that's coming from Remedy, it's always kind of like, what is this? Control Resonant, maybe. I might be looking into that too. Kenna sequel. We're getting a sequel for Kenna Bridge of Spirits. I don't know if you guys played Kenna Bridge of Spirits when it came out, because people didn't, you know how you have like gun and ball gamers out there. They like just care about, you know, the big AAA exclusives and Call of Duty and 2K. And some people never even played Kenna Bridge of Spirits. I felt like that was a slept on game when it came out, I think in 2021 or 2. So this Kenna sequel was actually like one of the big things for me. We're getting a sequel for that because I liked Kenna. So they showed a trailer for the Ghost of Yotei Legends multiplayer. I still haven't beat Ghost of Yotei, so, you know, I gotta get back into that game. But I do remember in the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer, I wasn't really a fan of it. I played it maybe 2 or 3 times and I dipped soon after. I would have always thought it would have been interesting if they included like a PvP type multiplayer instead of a PvE, kind of like how in For Honor you could go against other players and actually fight them. Imagine if they had PvP duels in Ghost of Yotei. I feel like that could be fire, but it's another PvE multiplayer, so, you know, that's good for whoever is looking forward to that. They showed another, Silent Hill has been getting so much love since that remake has come out. It's like now they always like talking about, there's always a new game dropping. They had that trash behind. Listen, Silent Hill F, I just couldn't get through it. Not even saying that it was a bad game, but the combat in Silent Hill, good sweet Lord have mercy, that combat is so trash, bro. And I know some say, well, that ain't what Silent Hill is about. It ain't about the combat. I get it. I could not finish Silent Hill F. I could not, but I did like the Silent Hill 2 remake, and I gave that like I think an 8 or 8.5. But yeah, Silent Hill, you know, this trailer that they showed, you're playing with the black guy, so suckers are saying it's woke and DEI. It's like, damn, you can't play as a woman in the game without it being woke. You can't play as a black man in the game without it being DEI. Like, what you suckers want? They showed this trailer called it's like a gameplay trailer called Project Windless, and it's like you're playing as this big chicken, and he was fighting just like a bunch of enemies. And somebody had left in my chat, I thought it was so hilarious. They said, "Is this Wukong?" Meaning like, what was that game that came out like 2 years ago? Wu Kang or Wu Long, Do Long, whatever. Like somebody said, "Is this Wukong?" Because the frame rate when he was like hitting all the enemies, that joke was looking like it was having some frame rate drops, just like Wu Chong or whatever the frick that game was called. Then they showed a trailer for a John Wick game. A John Wick game that came out of nowhere. But they also showed a little bit of gameplay because that part said capture on PS5 Pro, and they didn't show too much. But all I will say is this: a proper John Wick game, like if they do this junk to where it's kind of like Max Payne, but like, you know, whoever's developing this junk, if they do this junk right, this junk could be fire. And I don't even really like John Wick like that, but they showed another story trailer for, this was actually the best trailer I've seen for 007 James Bond First Light. This was actually the best, you know, trailer slash gameplay trailer that I've seen, because I've kind of been iffy on that game because it looks good, but at the same time it looks like eh. Then they showed another trailer for Marvel Tokon. I remember when they first revealed this game, I was very excited for it, because I'm like, yo, a freaking freaking Marvel game, especially coming off of Fighters from Arxis. I was so on board, but ever since that beta demo, whatever happened, and people was kind of like, this don't kind of feel like, you know, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Marvel Tokon. I really don't. Like, And at the same time, I was on like a 3-4 years, maybe 5+ year stretch of fighting games being like, I went away from them for a few years, and then Dragon Ball Fighters came out in like what, 2018 or something. And then I got addicted to that game. Then Street Fighter came out, then Tekken, to where I was like literally back on fighting games for like a good 5 years straight. Now I'm kind of in this mode where I'm kind of burnt out from them again, and just the things I've been seeing from Marvel Tokon and the things that I've been hearing, I'm kind of like, I don't know how to feel about the game. They showed some more Sorrows gameplay. You know, for people that liked Returnal, Sorrows is going to be more of that, but a newer version. I'm still curious of why they decided to name it a completely different thing, but Sorrows looks nice. You know, I just hope the you know, gameplay is just, well, not just as good, even that much better than the gameplay was in Returnal. I hope the bosses are good. I hope the biomes are better and stuff like that, because Returnal, before, you know, that junk is now on PC, I believe that at the time was one of PS5's best games from House Marquee. Returnal was a great game, so Sorrows, I'm definitely still on a board with that. They showed another trailer for Marathon. Suckers is saying, "No, Marathon look good now. It look good." Like, every time I see and this is no hate, every time I see gameplay of Marathon, I'm like, what the freak are you suckers seeing? Marathon, it's so weird. Marathon's aesthetic, to me, it looks good, but trash and cheap at the same time. I can't explain it. Sometimes the game looks good, but then other times I'm like, yo, this game look ugly as hell. What is Bungie doing? Like, that's the only way I can explain my feelings towards Marathons. Last thing I want to talk about, that God of War trilogy remake.
Zeus! Your son has returned! No,
Listen! Wait a minute. Whoa. Zeus! Your son has returned! Hey, I absolutely hate that I am excited for this remake. I actually hate it. I hate the fact that this remake had me hyped. I hate the fact that I am excited for yet another remake because, bro, we've been in this gen going on 6+ years now. We still getting the most hype for games that we've already played. Remakes? Like, I hate that I'm actually excited for this junk. But listen, you give me that line of Kratos saying Zeus, and it's God of War freaking 3. Freak just God of War 3, the best God of War in the series. Yes, it is. You add God of War 1 and 2 to that, a complete remake of the trilogy of God of War. What games have they done a complete remake of the entire trilogy? And I was asking my chat this yesterday. The only games that I think they've done that for is the Crash Bandicoot collection with, the Crash 1, 2, and Warped, and Spyro. Outside of that, there is not a lot of times to where an entire trilogy of a classic iconic series gets remade. And as good as Crash and Spyro is, they are not, as far as like just what the overall game offers you. Like, those are like, friendly platformers. You're talking about a game, a series like God of War, like a real video game. Like, not saying that those aren't games, but just like there's like levels to it. An entire remake trilogy of God of War 1 through 3? Sucker, you had me at 3. Once I get those concubines on the bed and that circle pops up above they junk and I'm giving them back shots in 4K 60 frames per second, what else does a sucker need? What else does a sucker need? God of War 3 remade? PS5 4K, 60 frames per second? Those boss fights? God of War 3's boss fights? You got me. I'm sorry. You got me. So apparently they just started like development. So it's like very early. We might not even be getting that jump to like 2028, 2029. So still gonna drop before GTA 6 though. So but so they showed that, and then last but not least, they also showed a God of War Sons of Sparta, but that's a 2D game. It's out now, actually. You could play it now, but it costs like $30. So I might end up getting that jump, but for the price it is, I thought if it was like 10, 15, maybe $30, God of War 2D game, I don't know, but I have seen some of my viewers are playing it right now. But that's just some of the games that really caught my attention. And they show like a bunch more. But like I said before, this state of play, this is really all we want. Like, and it wasn't like they didn't show freaking Wolverine. Suckers was like, where Bloodborne at? Bloodborne 2. Well, sucker, y'all still talking about Bloodborne in 2026? From Software don't care. They don't care. Sony don't care. We didn't get no GTA 6 trailer. Suckers was thinking that Rockstar was gonna give PlayStation the privilege to show something new for Are you suckers on crack? Like, we didn't get nothing like absolutely jaw-dropping. We still didn't see nothing about intergalactic, the freaking heretic bald woman. We ain't get nothing for that neither. But this state of play was still very good. This is what I feel like a state of play should be like. I realize not every state of play is the same length. Some be like mini shows or whatever. But I feel like part of us, we miss E3 a lot more than we're willing to admit. And I feel like that's why people, like, when these state of plays happens, or these, whatever Xbox does, or these Nintendo Directs happen, and then we walk away just completely crapping on how bad the showcase was and how bad of a state that games are in right now. I feel like that is only a reaction to, we just miss how exciting these little game events used to be. Like, remember back in the day with E3 and how it literally felt like an event. So we're still chasing that, like, you know, that like feeling. And when you do get that feeling sometimes, like we got yesterday in a way, it just reminds us like, oh snap, like this is why I play on PlayStation, or this is why I play games. It's just, we don't get these moments too often. So it definitely, especially because I walked in this state of play with absolutely zero expectations at all. I damn near wasn't even going to stream this junk. I only streamed this junk because of my freaking chat. That's really it. That's the only reason. But because I literally had zero, I never have expectations for state of play no more, because it just don't make sense to have expectations. But because it actually ended up being really good, I was like, wow, this was great, man. So kudos to Sony for that, and PlayStation. Now again, don't get trapped in this cycle of like, yo, this state of play was amazing, so now you're expecting the next one to be just as good as this one or the next one. I think that's where we go wrong. They're never gonna always, you know, have something like just fire to show. And I think that's what was happening during the times of E3. When E3 2016 happened and how that jump was like, no, I will never forget E3 2016. But then, you know, you get used to like, oh my God, this show was so amazing. So then you tune into the next one thinking it's gonna be just like that. No, sucker, it's not. It's not. So this was great. Am I expecting the next state of play to be just as good? No, I am not. But this one was good, and it was for those reasons. So yeah, man, what was y'all reaction to Sony's state of play yesterday? Y'all let me know down in the comments section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and here's my next video, my brothers and sisters. I'll catch y'all boys in my next one, all right?